Welcome to today's live stream, everybody. We are going to be playing preseason football. Yes, the preseason is exciting here in my franchise rebuilds. I started streaming these, I want to say, in the Texans series, and they were a lot of fun. It's a first look at a lot of rookies, and it's just a chill stream where I'd normally just sim preseason, but it's a good chance for us to see some players for the first time, to test some things out, to kick back, have some fun. So that's what we're doing today. I was checking out comments on the previous video that I put out yesterday, and somebody asked me if I was going to stream preseason. And at that moment, I'm like, oh yeah, I used to do that. I was doing that in the Texans series, and now I'm not. So that's why you have a stream today, instead of me just simming the preseason. So shout out to that comment for helping affect the series a little bit. And yeah, I haven't streamed much recently. I guess I hadn't realized how long it had been. But I am ready to play some football. I've done some editing to the roster, just like numbers. I think I changed the face of Brian Petrovsky just to... I think someone said I had to do that to get him to show up in the player card adjust lineup screen. I've changed some numbers. I've changed some gear around, and I've edited... the roster a little bit. We had like 12 receivers, so now we have 6. We signed a couple of players at the same time. I'll show you the transaction log and what I did. But that's what we're gonna do. Going through these preseason games, getting ready for the new season. I hope everyone's enjoying the Giants series so far. It's been fun and good to get back to this kind of rebuild. Yeah, if you haven't seen the draft yet, there'll be a lot of spoilers here, including one I already went through a little bit. I'm doing pretty well, Lar. How you doing? Is there going to be a quarterback competition? Not really. I don't think after 3 years that there's more we have to see from Danny Dimes. I'm not calling it a competition. Here is the... Where do they have transaction log in this? League transactions. I don't have his number at 12. It's not a retired number. Someone has it. That's why he's wearing 13 right now, to help you forget about Odell Beckham. The Giants have a lot of retired numbers. 1, 4, 7, 10, 11, 14, twice. 16, 32, 40, 42, 50, 56. That's a lot of retired numbers to keep track of. So I moved around the safeties here. Julian Love and Xavier McKinney swap spots just based on how I'm going to play them. Appearances for the rookies. I got like positions evened out left and right side. And I made a couple signings as well. And a lot of cuts. A whole lot of cuts. Had to cut DeMarcus Lodge. That one hurt after the Bucks series. Had some good times with him. And that takes you all the way back to the start here, I guess. I didn't sign these players. I'll have to check my settings here quick, because I didn't do any preseason signings. Like, I don't even know who Colton Fisher... Oh, I'm not the Bears. Jeez, dude. Get a grip. Gio, appreciate the super chat. Going pretty well. Having a good Friday. Hope y'all are too. Dylan. Hey, man. Just got my positive COVID test back today. Thanks in advance for keeping me entertained through quarantine. I hope you're feeling well, Dylan. And hope I can help make the quarantine go by a little bit faster for you. I'm sorry to hear that. Kawhi shows up. What's up, Kane? Not much, man. Just ready for some good old digital football. I haven't really done much with XP sliders, Falcon. Partially because they've done like the new stuff here with the new staff talents, and those are going to have an impact. So I haven't really done a lot of testing with that. It's something I should take a look at. At least do a little bit of raw testing to see if anything is obviously off. Here's what I did, though. Here are the players I signed. You want to check them out? I've been loving the series, Kane. Sadly, can't stay long in this stream since I'm in the middle of my IB exams. I don't know what that stands for, but best of luck on your exams from Singapore. This will be up later on if you want to check out the rest of it. So you do what you got to do, take care of the exam, and then you can grade my draft afterwards and how all the rookies play. Would I recommend this game to someone who hasn't bought a Madden since 19? With how fast, or slow rather, the sports gaming side of things moves, I don't think a 2 or 3 year gap is all that relevant. There are some new things. I'm always hesitant to like recommend Madden because I think there are a lot of flaws, and you might be somebody who can look past them and still have fun because maybe you have a friend group you play with, or you just get into it the way I do and you can look over some things and still have fun. And others might be like, dude, my immersion is broken every 6 seconds. All I can do is try to have some fun with the game. But, I mean, I can't recommend the game or say it would be a good or bad fit for you. And really that goes for any game, but there are plenty of games that I give the stamp of approval to. Like the baseball game. I signed a 57 overall quarterback. Kyle Meyer, UCF. 6'3", 218, just developmental quarterback. Might not make the roster, but he would make the practice squad for us. You know, I like having my obscure, undrafted players to work on developing. I didn't sign a running back. Can you believe that? Absolutely heartbreaking. Well, I go into some practices today and play around with some guys. We will see some sims. It's just the mercy of the CPU to show everything. That's a good point, Alec. Practice would not be bad. Perhaps after some game action, we will obviously get a good feel for a handful of players, but if there are more we just want to see, get some extra reps, I think that's for an end-of-stream event. Who else did I sign? Okay, I signed a defensive tackle. The game was yelling at me that I didn't have enough, so I signed Mike Purcell just to be a backup run stopper. I think that Pope is going to start, but the game literally made me sign a defensive tackle, so I obliged. I have Tyler Beltran here, set to potentially start at outside linebacker, edge rusher. And then I want to make sure we also get a lot of playing time for Antonio Golson in the preseason. He has the hidden dev. Really excited about that. Secondary, not much happened here. Just kind of rolling with who we had. But depth chart is set. Numbers are edited. We are ready to play. No housekeeping necessary. Unless I have some cap space. Because I didn't have the money to sign an undrafted free agent running back, you know. Really heartbreaking stuff there. 1.2 million in cap space. We're going to take a look. Thinking about trading Daniel Jones? Not at the moment. I think that it's possible just because, you know, I'm not going to re-sign him. So we shall see. I checked out some of these running backs. Now, yes, Tyson Williams is here. Keep in mind, I don't have the cap space for Tyson Williams. We'd be minus 360 in the hole. So we need to go down to like 1.3 million would have us with $40,000 in cap space. That's like a fine for a late hit on a quarterback is how much cap space we'd have. Unbelievable. I don't know yet if I'm trading Darius Slayton. We'll see once the real game starts what I want to do. Can I take a moment to acknowledge how good Aaron Rodgers is? Yeah, he should retire while he's on top, honestly. Like, just get out of the way, Aaron. Yeah, I thought, you know, Green Bay kind of dominated that game last night. I thought Arizona played terrible. I think they really missed Hopkins for the majority of that game. It didn't seem like anybody was getting open. There was no real flow to the offense. I mean, best player on the Cardinals for most of the night was Chase Edmonds. He can play. I like Chase Edmonds. And, you know, Green Bay, they had a good thing going with the running game. I thought they could have used A.J. Dillon even more than they did. And I felt like they just kept, you know, that Green Bay loves that play. They throw that flat route to Aaron Jones, and there's like 2 blockers right there. It's a swing screen, but also kind of a pick play in a sense, because, you know, you got, you know, Aaron Jones, blocker. Even if there's 3-on-3, Jones is going to take that defender into that wall of blockers. They ran it like 6 times. Still doing the Arena Football series. When I have, I want to get a couple things wrapped up here on the channel, and then I can take a trip back in time into some of the PS2 stuff, because I love to play games like that. I'd also like to maybe sign a running back here, but the problem is the rookies didn't have any wheels. Arizona really screwed over my parlay. What were you trying to get? I had one last night. I took the under on Rodgers passing yards, which hit. I took the over on Aaron Jones receiving yards, which hit. And then I took the over on James Conner rushing yards, because I thought they'd be playing from ahead and run the ball. What a fool. I couldn't take a DeAndre Hopkins over or something else, so big L on my part. Grant Hayes, only 61 overall. Yeah, Kyler had no touchdowns. Edmonds and Connor, I think, combined for 3, correct? Kyler, if you played Kyler in fantasy or whatever, you really needed him to get that touchdown to Hopkins that got called back. I might be going without a running back pickup right now. What's going on, TJ? We're just playing some preseason here. We're going to check out a lot of the new faces on the team is all. Put 120 on Green Bay last night. Yeah, I mean, in a situation like that, where you know, like, the lines are going to move and you got a chance with Aaron Rodgers, wasn't a bad idea. Nice hit. Let's play some football. I know, I messed up on Will Wall. I forced the need. I got, you know, I had a lot of mistakes in that draft yesterday. I learned some things. Gonna be an elite all-around D-tackle. Reminds me of Boogie Turner. Don't say that. And of course, the Dolphins took him. Yes. Can the Dolphins ruining my life just continue forever? That's the best storyline on the channel in the last few years. The New York Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins. I haven't tried the new Mario Party. No, like I have the Super Mario Party for Switch. I don't think I'll pick up the new one just because I don't know. I don't want to buy every game, and I kind of wish it was just Super Mario Party DLC for like 30-40 bucks instead. But from what I'm seeing, because I will definitely keep up on a lot of the new releases, it looks like it's a pretty good game. I think just a lot of people like me are going to be like, dude, I bought Super Mario Party and you did nothing for me. What's going on, DJ South? How you doing, man? Are your Chargers okay? After last week, that was kind of a shock to me. Usually when the Chargers lose, it's like, you know, after a fourth quarter where somebody loses a fumble, they get in position for a winning field goal, miss it. Like, the Bears doink all the field goals, the Chargers just flat out miss. And you're like, dude, it's like 68 degrees and there's no wind in Southern California. Why'd you miss the kick? Like, it was a different Chargers loss, just getting blown out. Yeah, the Patriots aren't the Patriots of old, but I think they're still like, I don't know about this going up against them. You know it's going to be tough. You know their defense isn't going to get rolled. Petrovsky here outside the pocket. Welcome to the new era. He missed. Cut him. Terrible. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Chargers. Last week's football games were not good. We had 6 teams on bye, no London game to kick off the morning, and just a bunch of ugly games. The deep ball is caught inside the 20, 57 yards. Happy Holidays, everybody, at the 18. I did change one of his, I did change him to one of the new faces. I did. I'm a Steelers fan. My season is scary right now. I think they're on the fringe, you know. I feel like, I had a decent read on the Steelers coming into the season. To me, I'm like, all right, I'm taking kind of a bearish approach. I'm not high on the Steelers, but I'm also not thinking, as Galladay takes us to the 1, I'm not thinking that they're like some dumpster fire of a team. I think they're 9-8. But what's ruined that a bit is the fact that the Bengals might actually be a good football team. And they're the team I've been the most wrong on this year because I thought the Bengals would win 5 games. Touchdown, Barkley. So right now, Kyle Rudolph starting at tight end, but we're going to see Caden Smith and the tight end I drafted yesterday as well. X Factor's not showing up, I think is a visual bug. Can anyone remind me of how I used to fix it? That was a good drive. Yeah, Jamar Chase. He is incredible right now. Absolutely incredible. I feel like maybe people like me who suggested Sewell was the better pick were wrong if Chase is going to be this good. And they're winning. Now, the offensive line issues can catch up with them. But are they in the position they're in right now without Jamar Chase and with Penei Sewell? Probably not. Even if you swap out Penei Sewell for Orlando Pace in his prime, I don't think that they're 4-2 or whatever they are right now. You know, Chase is making that much of an impact. I want Dan Campbell to succeed as well. You know, they're a rival team there in Detroit, but that team has just been bad my entire life, so I do have some sympathy for Detroit fans. Best team in the NFL? I think it's Tampa right now. I really like Tampa. I really like the Rams. That's better. Really like Buffalo. I think Baltimore is going to be a problem. Lamar is making a good MVP case again. And it's really cool to see what that offense has done this year because they lost like 3 running backs, right? They lost Dobbins, they lost Edwards, and the receiving back, Justice Hill. So instead of just pounding the ball with Le'Veon Bell in 2021, Lamar is throwing more often, and Hollywood Brown is stepping up, and I think they're going to really like Rashad Bateman there in Baltimore. Good things for that team. Now, Tennessee, with their last 2 wins, that's a pair of statements within 7 days of each other. Really shocking they were able to pull that off. Yeah, I'd say Chargers are kind of a tier 2 team. I think they're going to be in very good shape by the end of the season. I still think they win like 11 games or so. So back to the Giants offense here. Petrovsky does have a pretty good throwing motion. I got into practice, threw a couple balls with him just to get a thumbnail. We're 4 for 6 to start things out. I have not edited the playbook or anything yet. I want to take those out. I forget, B-Ron. Who was the Ravens' blowout loss? Oh, look, it's Rudolph. Up to the 39. Was that the Cleveland game? Or the Cincinnati game. That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did not see that coming. I felt like the Ravens would win that game pretty handedly. But, I mean, they got Jamar chased like everybody else is. 200-some yards. The other thing that's really confusing about Cincinnati was, like, the defense actually doing some good things. Wasn't counting on that. Here's Petrovsky on second down. Little dump off here. Down goes Barkley. So we've passed the ball like 10 times to 1 run. It's 3rd down and 3. And a conversion here. Kadarius Toney. Hopefully we see him play a lot more in this next season. It will definitely slow things down. You know, it's nice to get to a brand new season and then just kind of have the whole thing unfold. And I feel like the series really starts in year 2. Can we run the ball? I know I want to see Petrovsky play, but I really want him to hand the ball off a couple times. There's Saquon Barkley inside the 20-yard line. Did you guys see that play by Hopkins last night on that deep ball? Well, kind of a medium ball. Maybe it was deep ball. But he hit a double move in midair on Eric Stokes. Like, the ball was in the air, and he made a move that made Stokes react. And then he was able to take off and get to the spot where the ball was in stride. That's one of the most advanced things I've ever seen from a receiver. That's one of the most elite plays I think I've ever seen in my life. Absolute S tier. I don't think I've seen that before. 7 yards out. Barkley up the gut for a 1st down to the 3. As a Texans fan, I cried. Understandable. You think Brandon Cooks is going to stay there through the deadline? I know that dude has got to be tired of being traded. Touchdown, Kenny Galladay. We've moved down the field twice here in impressive fashion. Gotta like what we're seeing so far. But, I wonder if Cooks is gone. I think he was probably just tired of having to sell his house every time he got a new team, which was like 4 teams in 4 years or something. So that's a really good start to this little era here, at least for the preseason. I want to take it to the... We do have some backups we want to see. Where are the backups more interesting here? Yeah, Mike White's playing this week. The check down king. I really thought they were going to trade for Flacco and just tell him to go play and figure it out. They're averaging like 12 points a game anyway. What's the worst that could happen? Let's see Ruben Knight. Colin Johnson, John Vay Johnson. I want to see Mike Stallworth. Absolutely. I did swap around the offensive lineman. I just felt like Adkins was a better fit at tackle and then Basley a better fit at guard. So we shall see how that goes. I want to make sure we got Antonio Golson out there. He's wearing 31, so like really easy to spot. He's got like one of the only weird numbers on defense. And then, man, we're going to see Michael Lehman, everybody. I was sold on him. Such a cocky choice to just not scout him further and call him a 3rd-round player. Like, What am I doing? Carter Coughlin, Antonio Golson going to be out there. Mike Purcell. Let's not play a $25 million player in backup time. Hello? You guys hear my cat? Yeah, B coverage of 58. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. Do not be sucked in by the B grade. Oh, man. That's knocked down behind the intended target. That's Mike Stallworth. He's going to wear number 83. Daniel Jones is out there, so we should have, you know, a pretty good time at least trying to get the ball to these receivers to see what they can do. Daniel Jones almost intercepted. We'll see. Yeah, we'll play Slayton a bit. I'm not too worried about seeing him play with backups here. 3rd and 10 for Jones. I can't believe he's protected, but he's throwing the ball away. I mean, yeah, he looks good based on what I saw. It's just if I had more information, it probably would have shown like a D tackling or a C tackling and some other weaker skills. We happened to get his highlights, his best, in that like first reveal, and then it just wasn't good. We'll give him time, though. He's just not going to match the expectations early on. Nice tackle there on Chris Evans. Yep, grades are within the draft class. That's the other thing to keep in mind. So, you know, be greedy. Look for those A grades. And don't trust B-man coverage for linebackers because it's not going to be what you think. 3rd and 7. Caught. And a first down. There is the tackle made by Lehman. His tackling is low, so if he misses tackles, that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, I think I could be looking to trade Slayton and do exactly that. Maybe a coverage linebacker or something. Gotta love backup quarterbacks, man. Speaking of Chris Evans, thoughts on Lightyear. Is there a reference there I don't know? I'm not a huge movie guy. I know there's like a Buzz Lightyear thing going on. I watched Toy Story 4 in theaters, but I don't know anything about the, what is that, a Buzz Lightyear prequel? I imagine it's not the Bengals running back that's voicing him. I think Joe Judge could be fired after this season. They're going to have to show something here. I mean, it's gut check time. He has to show a reason to stay. Buzz Lightyear origin story. Now, what would make me really interested in that is, you know how Buzz was kind of... In the first Toy Story, he was really, like, LARPing as a space ranger. I need him to be, like, all in on that. That was, like, my favorite personality trait for him, was he was really thinking he was a space ranger. And so I need that Buzz Lightyear. The whole movie centers around him being in denial about being a toy, but I want to go before that. First down, Ruben Knight. Michigan or Michigan State this weekend? I haven't followed those teams too closely. I've had like the Texas games on just because I have access to them all the time. I don't know. Michigan, from what I've seen, has been pretty solid this year. Better than a lot of the Harbaugh years. Dude, Daniel Jones is thrown like a backup. He's not a toy in Lightyear. It's about the Space Ranger the toy is based off of. Okay. So maybe it's not exactly what I was thinking. The person the toy inspired, not actual Buzz. Oh boy, Daniel Jones got away, but he throws incomplete again. This is ugly. I really like Toy Story 4, though. That was a good movie. Why don't we take this one into, like, the fourth quarter? If it stays close especially, it's fun to watch them try to win the game. All right, this is what I'm talking about right here. All right, we're going to put in the third string quarterback for this fourth. So, Kyle Meyer, number 2. Can he become the number 2 quarterback? Why do I want to trade Slayton? Just because he's kind of the fourth receiver. I don't see him getting a lot of playing time, and we might be able to get a position of need in a trade for him. And this team has a lot of holes, so I think it makes sense. I did see Djax on the trade block. I hope he stays far away from Green Bay. Where else would be a good spot for Jackson to end up? Who needs a deep threat right now? That's more of a team that has a chance to do something, too. Nice tackle. Who makes sense? How about Chargers? They're playing Jalen Guyton a lot, but they're not throwing him the football. Ravens? You need Hollywood and Deshaun Jackson? Hey, we got some pressure. That's what we like to see. Get the ball. No. Yes! A fumble. The second one. Do you get credit for 2 forced fumbles on that play? I have to know. What was that? Falcons. I could see it. We need a forced fumble here for Johnson. And then... Oh! He got both of them! No way. No way. Please tell me it tracked both of those. Oh, that's so perfect. That's how you make the team, okay? You force 2 fumbles on 1 play. Yes! Raymond Johnson III. He got credit for both on 1 play. That's how you make it into the next episode right there. Yeah, it depends on the injury for MVS. I think if MVS is healthy, like, you know, just keep him. But he has been on injured reserve, and they've been very patient with that whole situation. Saints? They just brought back Kenny Stills, which you might have missed. So I don't know about them. What was his name again? Touchdown, Armstrong. I keep wanting to say Kyle Wright. That is not right, because Kyle Meyer. Kyle Wright is a reliever for the Braves. Well, a touchdown pass there. Let's see if Raymond Johnson III can get his 3rd forced fumble. What do the Vikings need to improve? I think just play into their own capabilities. They have the talent. I'm sure there's some spots they could get better. Like right now with Patrick Peterson on IR, like if they could add a corner, that would be perfect. But I don't know if they can. They just got to start playing more complete football. They got to put teams away, stop playing it safe, and making unnecessary mistakes. Golson. Who's winning Game 3 tonight? Let me see the starters. First game in Atlanta of the series. Tied at 1. It's going to be... I'm trying to figure out who starts. Would I have traded for Gilmore? Would have inquired at the least. Nice coverage down the field. Good job. I would have at least inquired for how little Carolina got him for. And you got to wonder now if Carolina's like, maybe we can just trade him to somewhere else now. Like when the Twins thought they were a playoff team a few years ago and they got Jaime Garcia for like one start and traded them to the Yankees. That was fun. Luis Garcia versus Ian Anderson. I'm going Braves tonight. It's unbelievable that the Braves, like, they lose Ronald Acuna Jr. and they add like 4 players afterwards. I know at least 3 of them have had a huge impact. I don't know much about if Soler has been that good for them, but it made their lineup so much deeper. Like Duvall had a big stretch to help them get into first place. Jocktober. Nice job. Rosario. I mean, as a Twins fan, I know Rosario is like the streakiest player. He might strike out 4 times tonight, but he also might hit 3 home runs. You just never know. And they got good Eddie here in the playoffs. When I say the Packers are the best team in the NFC after winning last night with all their injuries, I find it really hard to separate the teams at the top. And to me, it's Tampa, the Rams, and the Packers, and then Cardinals and the Cowboys. Cowboys might get to that upper tier. It's just them being perhaps this good is a little new right now, and I don't know if I trust them because of the last 20 years of Cowboys football. But after the top 5 teams, huge teardrop to bring you down to, I think, the Saints, Vikings, and Falcons. Yeah, that was weird. Like, AJ Green wasn't expecting the football or something. But, you know, in that sequence, Arizona wasted a lot of time. They called an extra play before calling that timeout with like 17 seconds. That was horribly mismanaged. They left themselves with less time than they should have had. And that was a first down throw, right? A 50-50? Like that? I don't think you call that on first down. That's kind of your desperation play. Maybe third down. But I think when you got a couple plays to work with, if you use that timeout wisely, you could have probably schemed up something a lot better than just a 50-50 ISO route in the end zone. I felt like that was a bit on cliff there, last 30 seconds. Uh-oh, was that a fumble for the rookie running back? Oh, turf monster on our side today. Yeah, tight end doesn't always get a lot of usage in that that Arizona offense. You're always going to feel like somebody isn't getting enough usage. Like Hopkins gets a lot less targets than most number ones. They go 4 deep at receiver. They use 2 running backs. They do use a tight end, and Kyler runs. So it's like there's not enough. There's only one ball. It's got to go in like 8 directions. Kyle Meyer, the undrafted quarterback from South Florida, here to try and put the game away. The fumble did not stand, and Meyer throws to the end zone where it's ripped away. Who's 15? Who wears 15? I don't think CJ Board. I don't even think CJ Board's on the team anymore for me. Who wears 15? I forget. And second down. Armstrong is getting open, catching the ball. I got Madden 09 and 25 today. 09 was a good time for me. I had a lot of fun with the scouting on there. Colin Johnson, okay. Gotcha. Best player across all my series, the Boogeyman. On the slant. Caught at the 3. Good throw. Good catch. John Vay Johnson. They got 4 receivers that could be starters on 25 or 30 other teams. Yeah, they're really deep there. I wonder if anyone throws a conditional 7 their way for Andy Isabella. I feel like we haven't really seen anything from him in a long time. I appreciate that, Issa. Thank you for the kind words. Ooh. No. That was a pretty sweet interception there. Not an easy catch to make at all for Rasul Douglas. He earned that one. 3rd and goal. We try another run. There you go. Ruben Knight touchdown. That's going to put this one away. We'll stick around for one more drive just to see if Raymond Johnson can make a play after forcing 2 fumbles on the same play. It's not Armstrong, it's Stallworth. Why am I confused? Yeah, it's Mike Stallworth. Why am I thinking Mike Armstrong? Who is Mike Armstrong? Let's go, baby. Mike Armstrong is a kicker for Central Michigan. I have not watched any Central Michigan football in the last millennium. And he's not their kicker right now, as far as I'm aware. These stats are from 2018. I don't know who Mike Armstrong is. Yes, I could see them trading for Evan Ingram. I think that would be a pretty good move for them. As much as they like Mercedes Lewis, and he's still a good player. I mean, what is he, like 37, 38 years old, still holding the edge, making almost a one-handed touchdown catch yesterday. He can still play. On 3rd and 2, the pass is hauled in at the 46-yard line. You know, I've been trying to think about this for about the last week, 2 weeks or so. There was some rumors floating around that the Lions wanted to add a receiver, and I was trying to think of who made sense. Because, you know, with Cephas hurt, they just don't have a lot of receiving options. Oh my, he almost got there again. Raymond Johnson having a night. I was trying to think of who made sense, though. You at least have to call San Francisco and say, what's up with Brandon Ayuk? He has like 9 catches this year. What's going on? I think you ask about him. You ask about Denzel Mims. Jamison Crowder. Yeah, I think he would totally be able to replace that Golden Tate role they had from a couple years ago. I like that. Jamison Crowder would be like a primary option there. Might steal some targets, though, from Amon-Ra St. Brown. Intercepted by Aaron Robinson to end it. There's some good moments in there. Ask about James Washington. Good one, yes. How long, like, the Steelers are not this prolific passing team. Trade your 4th receiver. I want to see James Washington somewhere else. Trinity Benson. I knew they traded for him, I wanted to say. But I don't think he's seen the field a lot. They're just kind of throwing the ball to Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, DeAndre Swift, obviously, is one of the leading running back receivers right now. And then there's Hawkinson. I definitely see them trying to make a move, though. Can they take Robbie Anderson so Shy Smith can get more reps? Robbie Anderson's season, by the way, is absolutely absurd. I have a friend who's a Panther fan, and I gave him this stat yesterday. Robbie Anderson right now, you might think he's not getting the ball. That is not a fact. Robbie Anderson is 31st in targets. He's tied 31st. He has like 48 targets this year, but he's 93rd in yards, which gives him, and if you look at yards per target, to just look at raw efficiency that way, he's 233rd in the NFL in yards per target, because it's like 11 catches, 48 targets, something ridiculous that is like a statistical anomaly. Oh, I have to take care of my scouts, looks like. Okay. Do I have to do this in preseason, or can I do it week 1? Because I don't want to do it right now. Yeah, I think he has 5 or 6 drops. I checked yesterday. He has the same number of drops as Cooper Kupp and Keenan Allen, by the way. It feels like it's more, though. I think Kerryon Johnson just had too many injuries, kind of ruined his chance at upside. Because initially, I thought he looked pretty good for the Lions. Can I skip this anytime in preseason? Robbie leads the league in uncatchable targets. I would believe that. It's almost like a couple years ago when Kyle Allen couldn't hit Curtis Samuel on a deep ball. I swear there were like 400, 500 unrealized yards for Curtis Samuel. And I've been holding on to that ever since, waiting for him to be in a better situation. I'm a long-term investor in Curtis Samuel shares. Thoughts on Kyle Pitts? He's balling out right now. He's playing incredible. Made some great catches down the sideline last week. Just took about 2 months for him to find his stride. Back-to-back performances over 100 yards. All right, I'm going to sim past this because I should be able to handle the scout business later. Yeah, it's still there. I want to make my focus players here. Never got around to that the first time I simmed this on accident, but this is about what I'm looking for. Obviously, Petrovsky, Beltran, who's going to start, Pope. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Let's get some more realistic goals here, though. Oh, someone asked earlier about Mark Ingram to the Saints, and I think that makes complete sense. Tony Jones has been hurt, and you know, throughout Kamara's time there, they've always given somebody else a lot of the running workload. They did it with Ingram, they did it with Latavius Murray, and you want him to catch the ball. That's where he's at his best. 12 rushes, 10 targets, that's Kamara's game. And I think Ingram gets them closer to doing that again. Yeah, I saw you extended him too. I think that's part of the condition of the trade, because the trade wasn't actually official yesterday. So that's pretty cool. Ingram had some really good years there in New Orleans. So Raymond Johnson III, he's the one who had the 2 forced fumbles on 1 play. Only 75 strength, so his run defense doesn't look all that good. He's just kind of a here and there pass rusher. He does have decent acceleration, 74 power moves. But it was fun to see him make those plays. I liked that. I thought I saw Darnay Holmes with some good coverage down the field. Aaron Robinson had a pick. Do they give us some numbers here on Ruben Knight? 2 broken tackles on 18 carries for 66 yards. I would like to see more of him. It's hard to predict who would trade for a running back all the time. I think someone should trade for Marlon Mack. I think he's a good player, but he's the number 3 for them right now. And Jonathan Taylor's just so good. They got to find a way to get him the ball more. I mean, I don't think the Colts would trade. Maybe they would, but he would be great for the Ravens. But somewhere where he could play maybe longer than a year. The Chiefs, maybe. I would probably say Philly if they were more in the mix right now with Sanders being hurt. The Dolphins can't run the ball anyway. I wouldn't even bother. Just check the ball down to Myles Gaskin. I don't think the Jets are running the ball either. They're checking the ball down to Michael Carter. Most teams don't need a running back. If they do, it's usually because of injuries piling up. You know, a team that wouldn't be bad for him? Atlanta, I think. I forget the contract they ended up giving Mike Davis, but Patterson's taking that that backfield over. I don't want Mack to play over Patterson. You know, I want Cordero to get the ball as much as possible here. The age 31 breakout. You guys couldn't see that coming? Come on. But I think Atlanta could be interesting. But when I think of most teams in the mix right now, I don't think there are too many running back needy teams. All right. And that is the rookie running back, I think. Or that's Chubb. Who's what number was the running back they drafted? I forgot Chubb was 24. We're going to see that rookie at some point too, but Chubb just ripped off 40. Who just blocked 2? Was that Odell? Was that the 2-for-1? I mean, come on, man. Yeah, he was number 23, I want to say. Patterson has plenty of fans now, I think, this year. But yes. Always a Cordero Patterson fan. Can we please stop the run? Much better. The game will do subs, David, after certain quarters, but the subs aren't like perfect. Like the depth chart isn't really set up to have a perfect second string unit there, so I still end up making a bunch of manual subs. But in the first game, they sub in those second string players after the first quarter. In this game, they'll do it after halftime. And in the third game, they'll do it after the third quarter. And the fourth game will be after the first quarter again. You're going nowhere. I'd like to one day, Raymond. I'm just not going to this year. I think that with the late start to getting the scouting, a lot of the bugs still in the game, waiting 2 months for the scouting. I think I kind of mentioned that already, but I just don't think it's a good year to do 2 franchises. I'd rather spend my time more on this, doing baseball on the main channel. Kareem Hunt checks in, and they run it all the way to the end zone. So this will tell you where our run defense is. Did the return of Blake Martinez fix anything? Not on that drive. I don't know about these other games. I know I've wanted to play them. I'm interested in maybe trying out NHL. I had some fun with 2K a couple of years ago. I haven't played the last 2K games, the last 2 of them. Petrovsky extends, effortless throw down the field, and Barkley can't believe it was actually catchable. Thoughts on Robert Saleh as head coach? It's rough now, but long-term thoughts and young talent potential? I was excited to see him get a spot. I think that players have liked him for a long time in San Francisco. Always did a good job, I thought, with that defense. I really think it's hard to judge head coaches until they're in some certain positions. Like, usually, you know, it's productive offenses or defenses that see their coordinators get head coaching jobs. But I think what makes a head coach good is, like, establishing the team culture and then, like, decision-making in clutch and key moments. And unfortunately for the Jets, there just haven't been enough key moments to know, like, how aggressive is he in these situations. They just don't get into favorable spots much. It's a lot easier when a team is, you know, at least in that mid-tier and you can see, like, oh, the Vikings mismanage the clock all the time. They waste timeouts. They waste challenges. They could optimize a lot of things in the 2-minute. That's where I think Mike Zimmer's weak as a coach. That's the deep ball. It's underthrown, and it's incomplete. I have not changed playbooks yet. The Packers use... I think the Packers got to use every timeout. They run the play clock down to 1 every time. Petrovsky with the wheels all the way to the 3. The Packers play so slow. They always do that hard count to make you jump when time is going to expire on the game clock. The Packers are frustrating to watch just because it's so slow. Barkley scores the touchdown. We're moving the ball with Petrovsky here in these preseason games. First player to get a breakout chance this year? That's a great question. Jabril Peppers is my official prediction because he plays that, you know, sub linebacker role, which can be very valuable. Around the edge, it's Azeez Ojulari, who's really the leading pass rusher now on the team. We need that year 2 breakout. Nice job. If you're just checking in, we've gone through 1 game already. Petrovsky has looked really good, I think, for the most part. We had Raymond Johnson III pick up 2 forced fumbles on 1 play. It was absolutely incredible. Ooh, Bradbury versus Odell. Nice job. Yeah, Ojulari could get the breakout chance for sure. Ooh. Shake the first defender, pick up a few yards. Not bad. I don't use sliders for these series. I don't think it's necessary. I think you get very balanced gameplay. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Djax earlier. I feel like the Packers could be calling. I think that there was one more team that we had suggested here. Oh, I suggested the Chargers. I just don't know if he would get the targets he's looking for there. Ooh, Barkley will get to the outside. What's a player I have high hopes for this season? The rest of the way? Van Jefferson. I want to see if he can eclipse Robert Woods' role in the offense by the end of the year. Third quarterback is Kyle Meyer, an undrafted rookie from South Florida. Bang, caught on the outside, first down, 10 yards. Saints and D-Jacks, could be. They could also just say, we brought back Kenny Stills. It's not a huge role in the offense. Let's just stick with what we have. First and 10 for Petrovsky against Sterling Shepard. Accuracy has been good. And we got a look at Daniel Jones in the first preseason game, and it was not good. Pittman is having a good year. As a disappointed Woods owner, you shut your mouth. Hey, he kind of double clutched there on the slide. I want to check that out. So he goes to slide here. First down marker is at the 15. He starts his slide there, and then he defies laws of physics. And he gets a little extra here. You see that? He starts the slide. And it's when he gives himself up. It should be marked here at the 17. But then he gets like the super slide, and then he goes down. What is that? And they gave him the first down. When they talk about ankle flexion, I think that's what they're talking about. First and 10. Caught inside the 10. Rudolph. Do quarterbacks still fumble every time they are touched? I don't think it's quite as ridiculous as it was a couple years ago. Madden 20 was a bad year for that. We're trying to take the lead here. It's 3rd and 2. Petrovsky throws it across the middle, and that is a Sterling Shepard touchdown. Very nice. We just continue to move the ball down the field with him at quarterback. This preseason is going to make me create some unrealistic expectations of this team. This is going a little too well, don't you think? Anybody have a chance to play Riders Republic? Just came out, I think, yesterday. I was a fan of the game Steep from like 5 years ago or whatever. And to me, this was kind of a spiritual successor in a way. And thought the beta was pretty cool. Baker Mayfield, 3rd and 6. Nice play, Hooper. 6-win team as a floor. I could take that as a floor. I don't know what my expectations are yet. Like, the preseason is helping me set those. I'm kind of thinking, you know, if I had to say right now, 7-8 wins is my my thought. Oh my! So close. Was Steep the snowboarding one? Yeah. I really like Steep. No way. Odell climbs the ladder. He's got it. Afternoon Cane. Sending love from Shepherd Air Force Base. What do you think of Taylor Heineke? He was my sleeper MVP pick this year. Obviously won't happen now, but I love how hard he plays. I think he's a valuable backup quarterback and spot starter. As a long-term starter, I don't think it's going to work out, but he doesn't play scared. I think that he's got a lot of Fitzpatrick in his play style, and I could see him staying around the league for a while and being one of those coveted backups. Especially for teams that want to back up who could play. Like, some teams just want a good clipboard holder, like Chase Daniel. He's been a high-paid backup without playing a whole lot in his career. But I think that it's worked out for both sides of those situations. So, you know, Hurricane, he can run around. He'll make some fun plays, but also have some bad mistakes. Oh, goodness. Nick Chubb. Appreciate the super chat. Heineke's a solid backup and bridge quarterback, I'd say. Now, it would be interesting, you know, I was excited about Washington because I felt like the defense was for real. With all they've done to that front four especially, I just felt like they were going to pick up where they left off with a better offense in a weak division. It was going to be a good time. Defensive regression, Fitz gets hurt, Curtis Samuel has played very little this season, Antonio Gibson has not been healthy, and maybe he should just be shut down for the year. Legit. Logan Thomas is hurt. Just kind of not their year. A lot of bad things going on at the same time. Baker on 3rd and 12. Guns this one to Beckham in the back of the end zone. Nice play. No, I don't think Odell gets traded, and I don't think he would have a lot of interested teams right now with his contract. I was pretty high on, you know, getting Beckham in, like, fantasy and best ball because I felt like there was going to be a chance for him to be the Odell of old this year, but still feels like he's got injuries every week and just hasn't been quite the same. Although against the Vikings, he could have had 200 yards if Baker had a half-decent game. Does he still have his Madden 16 celebration? I didn't even notice. I remember the title screen of that game being him doing that. Barkley is incredible. No, no, get me out of here. You better save that replay, Madden. He made 3 moves on that play. Please say you still have it. That was... It wasn't a gain of 2. Wow. Gone forever. Oh, well, you can rewind the stream. It was really impressive. I would have liked to get the slow-mo of that, though. Oops. Madden 16 was the Chargers for me, the Reggie Shepherd days. There's got to be, like, obviously I don't feel like the game is super optimized, but there's got to be something really unoptimized if they have to constantly delete replays like that. Whereas in the show, any action replay, they keep until the end of the game. You want to see a first inning ground out to third base, it's there. They're all there. Every at-bat's last pitch is kept until the end of the game. But Madden's always, like, discarding replays like they just can't handle it or something. The all-time Mr. Hurricane Universe lineup? Well, I'm hoping soon on All-Pro Football we can get an idea of what that could look like, although I can't customize an entire team unless I maybe figure out how to use a roster mod and get the game on Xbox. Then maybe it's possible. Baker Mayfield underneath. Short gain. On 3rd and 7, Mayfield got it there. You know, I'm really wondering now with the show if they could bring back year-to-year saves. Because I think that would be so awesome if they did. Like, I think it went away when they made the jump to PS5. But, man, if they don't bring it back, that really sucks. Over the middle now. Hunt across the 40. Up to the 47. Any tips on a franchise mode for MLB for someone who's never really gotten deep into baseball? Yeah, I think like getting into MLB as a casual player might be a little difficult at the start just because you have the minor leagues and you're pretty much re-signing 95% of your roster every year. Whether it's tender contracts, arbitration, and those are, you know, terms and things that aren't really used in other sports. But players don't hit free agency until they have 6 years of Major League experience. And until then, you got renewable contracts, which is basically like, hey, we're going to pay you this, and you're not going to really have any say in it. That's usually 2 years, I think, and then it's like 4 years of arbitration, where you can give them an offer, but they can also have a number in their head and then go to an arbitrator who sides with one party. That already sounds super confusing, I bet. But MLB is fun. I mean, a big part of it is managing your minor league system for the future. Maybe don't take a terrible team off the bat then if it's new for you. Maybe take a middle-of-the-road team. Maybe take like the Oakland A's. They have a lot of cool players on their team. Over the middle and caught inside the 15. Probably taking the lead here before half. Yeah, and the CPU can manage a lot of that for you, and it's probably not a bad idea if you're just starting out. Certainly, it's probably got one of the steeper learning curves if you're like brand new to it. I feel like I could teach somebody Madden in like 3 minutes. Maybe 5 with the new scouting. Maybe 5 minutes. Nice play. Mutant Football League. I've seen some gameplay for it. Looks like an interesting game. Baker missed again. Is it a good game, though? Is it a good football game? How different would baseball be if they had a salary cap like the NFL? Well, you wouldn't see teams like the Dodgers trading for Trey Turner and Danny Duffy and Max Scherzer at the deadline too often. I think that a greater emphasis would be put on developing prospects. And I think with a cap ceiling, you'd also institute a cap floor and make the Pittsburgh Pirates actually spend some money on their team. So that would be a good part of it. I thought we were at the start of the 3rd quarter. We didn't do a kickoff. Whatever. I'm going to sim to the end of this one. We're going to get to game 3. There are some bugs when you sim, like first play of the 3rd quarter. There's an art to Super Sim. And sometimes I forget some of the rules in it. I'd love to play Out of the Park next year. That's on my list for sure when baseball season rolls around again. I haven't played in a few years. Well, baseball is a great game if you want to do like a sim-based anything, especially if you're playing Out of the Park with how detailed that game is. But even the show, I think, is a fun game to simulate in or watch games play out or play a game here and there. Baseball is so numbers-driven, and it's one of the easier games to simulate but feel like you understand what's going on with your team. Yeah, I have to check out Mutant Football League. The other new one I think is, what is it, Legend Bowl? That looks like it has some really cool features on it. I can't wait till practice squads are set and I can look at maybe signing a running back. Retro Bowl, yeah. I think that's it. What's Legend Bowl? Legend Bowl has to be a thing, right? Legend Bowl is a game on Steam. What's Retro Bowl? Oh no, it looks similar. It gained massive popularity on TikTok. Did it really? Can we confirm that's true? Was Retro Bowl popular on TikTok? I want to say Legend Bowl is the game I was talking about, though. Why are we so low on cap? Because we spent all our money. All of it. Here are cap numbers in 2022. Leonard Williams, 26.5. Kenny Golladay, 21.2. James Bradbury, 20.5. There's 67 of it. And then, I mean, there's just too many big contracts. That's the difficult part of taking the Giants early on, is these contracts are fresh. This was their attempt to rebuild. My favorite rebuild I've done? Oh, it's really difficult to pick one out of the four, because they've all been really good for their own reasons. The Texans one is fresh, and it was so difficult. Roberto, we have been streaming for a while, but I'm not done. So, settle in. Let's have some fun. Camp standout. Who's the standout of camp? It's Azeez Ojulari. Let's go with Playrec. +5. And then the wide receiver mentorship. It's going to be Golladay for... Or no, it's going to be Shepard for Tony. Okay. Wait. Are we not going to talk about him? He had to go somewhere. All right. Next game, we have Denver. By the way, I like the Giants' red uniforms. In my head, I can picture like Brandon Jacobs running in that uniform. No, I haven't seen any Out of the Park on YouTube in a long time. I'd have to check it out. Lately, my thing on YouTube is watching like retrospectives on old video games. Not even old, just like games I played, and I want someone to talk about how good the game is for like an hour. Watching like retrospectives on the old Ratchet and Clank games. Midnight Club 3. You know, all the good stuff. Oh yeah, Ahmad Bradshaw, man. I liked him a lot. That backfield with him, Brandon Jacobs, and Derek Ward is one of my favorites. I've played Tecmo Bowl through the Switch Virtual Console. I've also played, there was like a Nintendo soccer game on there. One of the most difficult, frustrating moments, I think, of my entire life playing that game. Getting blown out. in like 2-minute halves playing NES soccer. What Madden do I think had the best soundtrack? Oh, I'd be going back to either 03, 04, 05, man. I used to love those soundtracks a lot. I don't listen to the soundtracks anymore. First thing I do when I get a game that I'm making content on is turn off all the licensed music, and I don't even hear any of it. Pitch out Barkley up to the 30-yard line as he gets downhill. Hey, at least, though, on Switch Virtual Console, they have save states. So you can save your spot, and I think they allow you to rewind as well if you made a mistake. Because, a big part of those games back in the day is, like, part of the time value of the game was game overs meant the game was over and you had to start over. And that was a tough pill to swallow as a young boy playing Super Mario Bros. 3, having to start over after, like, conquering the second world. The ability to continue a game over showed up a little bit later. Oh, I'd love to see, more competition here when it comes to simulation NFL games. I mean, competition is always going to give us better games. I mean, that's part of why it's been so stagnant for 15 years. There's been no one breathing down their neck, even though 2K has become a better selling video game than Madden. There's a big run for Javonte Williams. Not bad. I'm also pretty high on him the rest of the way. I think he's looked really good in Denver. Possibly with Super Mega Baseball. They've been putting out games, I think it was like every couple of years. So I'm wondering if they have anything in the works for 2022. I know EA bought them, which immediately what comes to mind is like, all right, use your EA money to get the MLB license, slap it on Super Mega Baseball, don't get in their way. It'd be a great experience if they just did that. Ooh, Bradbury's competitive though, I like him. I think I'm kind of out on Drew Lock as a starter, personally. I haven't seen enough good. I think he's streaky. He's got some high variance in him. He can have some good games. Like last year, he had a massive game against like the Falcons. And then I remember also, I think he had one of his best games of the year against the Raiders, and then one of his worst games of the year against the Raiders. I just haven't seen enough to trust him. Yeah, I mean, the GM experience to me brings out all the stuff I like about playing franchise, which is the players, drafting, multiple seasons. It just kind of highlights that more because, like, when I see a player making a play, it's them doing it. I'm not controlling them. And with the simming involved, I can go a lot faster and I can see their entire career play out. So I've really enjoyed it. Glad I stumbled upon it. They're moving down the field here a little too easily for my liking. My favorite team, I'm a Viking fan. I showed this off in a stream like a couple months ago. Check this out. That is Harrison Smith. Autographed helmet here. Big part of the setup. Had a friend send me this. Was not expecting this at all. This is the third game of the stream. Don't score. Am I a Vikings fan because it's the closest team to you? Well, I mean, they were the closest team to me for most of my life, but I live in Texas now, so the closest team to me is... it's like a tie between Texans and Cowboys. I'm considered to be in both the Astros and Rangers markets. Therefore, MLB TV kind of gets screwed out of those games. So is Teddy to Cortland Sutton, huh? All right. Let's see if we can respond here. I like what I've seen from the offense to this point. Do I miss living in Minnesota? No, I don't miss living there. Well, I mean, I miss parts of it. Like, I had a lot of fun there. I just didn't like the cold. I loved it for 6 months, and I hated it for 6 months. If the winters weren't so harsh, I probably would have never left. Petrovsky got it there. He's been accurate. Too cold. I don't even want to wear pants. I just want to wear shorts 365. I'm wearing pants now because now I'm accustomed to more heat, and as soon as it's under like 75, I'm like, better bundle up. That's why I was wearing the sweatshirt. What brought me to Texas? My car. The weather, mostly. I want to live somewhere where I kind of do what I want when I want and not have to worry about the weather being in the way all the time. And I certainly got that. I like the weather here a lot. Again, Galladay making a play. He's looked pretty good here, making a lot of catches. I love fall, though. I've become more of a fan of fall, and but like the fall that I experienced, like, you know, we're talking 30s and 40s for so much of it. To me, like, peak fall is, you know, the 60s. Ooh, that time he's a bit off the mark. And especially like the last decade, it just felt like fall and spring were both skipped over. They would be so short. It was thankfully there was a lot of summer, because that's my season right there, but winter would show up early, stay late, and I wasn't a fan of April blizzards and everything else. Oh no! He missed it. A doink. Oh, Cali's got the best weather by far. Yeah. Best weather in the country has got to be like San Diego, right? One second. We just had the bug happened here that causes me to stay in a game and not be able to exit out. So I want to get more of the game simulated. See if I can fix it too. This is game 3, correct? There we go. Hawaii has the best weather. I probably would prefer that to Southern California. Just because I like a little more heat. I want the mornings to be nice and hot. The run to the right side. Williams. What a hit. Rains every 20 seconds. I don't mind a little rain. Keeps everything nice and green. Teddy's going deep, and Teddy's got him open. Noah Fant. Not bad. Ooh, nice play there. I shouldn't have to worry about tropical storms where I am. Maybe on like the outer portion of it, it's like maybe there would be some sort of rain event there, but not in like a hurricane zone or anything like that. Should have passed on a quarterback and waited for a deeper class. You never know if that class is going to show up, though. From what I've seen, though, Petrovsky's looked really good. It's just, can we, is there a good way to get him above normal development at any point? Does he have the ceiling to become a good enough quarterback to take this team where they got to go? Back him up. Aiding coverage on 3rd and 15. Teddy. Is he going to get aggressive? He will. Crossbody throw. Almost a touchdown. Jeez. Yeah, there's still some storms around here you gotta be aware of. The weather in Texas is definitely different from what I was used to. The storms are more violent with like wind and rain, that kind of thing. Tornadoes. But they seem to only last like 10 minutes. Like I remember a lot of times where, you know, you'd have like, when I was back in like Minnesota, and you could have like just the ugliest storm from, you know, start of the day to the end. But I haven't had anything like that here outside of the snow event of early 2021. Never thought I'd see that again. Not in a million years. I don't own my snow shovel anymore. I had a nice ergonomic one and everything. I could have really used it. All right, Petrovsky, you got maybe one more drive here. Let's see what you can do. Gain of 7. He's a scrambler, Ty. Which team has the best potential to become the dynasty of the 2020s? Right now? Oh. I mean, dynasties aren't a given or all that likely. Like, Patriots was, you know, the perfect storm of having Belichick and Brady together. Ooh, nice play. Von Miller gets there. I wouldn't say any team is set up for a dynasty. I mean, like, when the Seahawks were at their peak, it felt like they were going to be good forever. When the Eagles won their Super Bowl, it felt like they were going to be good forever. But the game is so temporary, dynasties are abnormal. Like, the Eagles had a really deep roster in just 2017, even going into 2018. And now, I mean, they're a shell of that former team. They got, you know, 6-7 veterans from that Super Bowl team. And then, like, a failed attempt to keep the Super Bowl window open around them with a new quarterback. So it's like, I don't think I would give any team that dynasty stamp of approval right now. I think a big part of it, too, is with these big quarterback contracts, it creates a very difficult situation keeping a team together. And one thing the Patriots had going for them is Brady didn't always have the top cap hit at quarterback. He's always played under a lot of other quarterbacks in the league. So you have, you know, perhaps one of the greatest coaches of all time, the best quarterback, who's also playing for less money. You're in a crappy division that's never going to get in your way and more or less give you 5-6 wins a year. How many division wins do they average in the Brady-Belichick era? It had to have been over 4 because no one competed with them. That's caught inside the 20-yard line, up to the 14. Rudolph making plays for us. Might be someone we trade if it's not a good season. We'll let it play out first, see where it goes. Petrovsky on the move. He'll run it inside the 10 and score the touchdown. Love it. Quarterbacks running in the red zone is kind of one of the new trends of the last few years. And I think the teams that have that element have a very significant edge. Red zone scoring is so important. And this gives you one extra avenue some teams just don't have. So what do y'all got going on this weekend then? It's Friday afternoon. I'm sure a lot of you are set up for the weekend now as, what are we, 4:15 in the afternoon? What are the weekend plans? Rookie of the Year status may help him get to star, but I think you really have to focus on like being high ranked in touchdowns and yards, which is tough. Nice play, Martinez. Movies, Legos, and Seahawks. I've seen some of those more like advanced Legos that they market towards adults. Those look pretty cool. Halloween party. World Series, UGA, Florida, Saturday. Ooh, that'd be a good game to watch. I hope it's later in the day because I'm going to be doing a member stream tomorrow and probably won't be able to watch a lot of college football until the late stuff, mid-afternoon. Oh boy, it's intercepted on the overthrow. We have the football. That was the first play, I think, with the backups checking in too. Ugly. Oh, I can't go check replays or anything now or edit the depth chart or anything. It's the fourth quarter, though. I'll just let it play out. Michigan State. So, what do you guys think is going to be the playoff now? Because it looks like now, like Cincinnati seems to have a good path to the playoff now, with them at number 2. Obviously, Georgia's having a really good year. I think we all expect Bama to get back in. And Oklahoma with Caleb Williams, that quarterback switch seems to be working. That play he made last weekend, I think it was, where he ripped the ball away from his own teammate to go get the first down. That was pretty cool. Ohio State's at 5, Michigan at 6. So they got to win this one. Oregon at 7. I think Oregon's a pretty good team too. Okay, that's an undefeated battle with Michigan State. Can't wait for that one. I thought Iowa was like on their way to winning the Big Ten, and then last week happened. I think that was Purdue. There's another sack. There we go. Golson getting involved. That's what we like to see. Man, what happened to Arkansas? They were one of my favorite teams to watch at the very start of everything. And then they got rolled, I think, by Georgia and somebody else. Yeah, that'd be something to look into, Caleb. They have two good coverage linebackers there. Aluakon would be easier to acquire. I think everybody likes picking up Foye. He's kind of like the best value for coverage linebacker. You know I liked watching that Razorbacks running game. I saw one Rocket Sanders highlight, and I was like, yep, that's who I want to watch. Would I ever consider doing a Steelers franchise? Yeah. The fact that they've won so many titles doesn't really take them out of consideration. It's just they've usually been too good to consider. This year, I mean, there's some work to do on that offense. They're not bad if you want to just, like, play a franchise where you're focused on building up an offense. It's more your thing. That's the perfect team to kind of start over with the offense, outside of, like, Harris and Deontay Johnson. Yeah, Kendall Hinton's been getting on the field a little bit for them as like a fourth receiver. Not quarterback this year. Are you a Wake Forest fan? Almost blocked that kick. It's no good. Nope, no custom prospects in this. Hey, I've been watching a little college football this year, so I got a little more to say about a couple teams. Dumped off here on the outside. It's Daniel Jones time now as we get this game going. Hopefully no overtime. Really hope no overtime. I wouldn't say I'm a big hockey fan. I'm interested in it. I would be, you know, I'd be a Minnesota Wild fan. Just because I'm a Minnesota fan for everything, but I just never got into it a whole lot. Vikings and Twins really had all my attention, and then I think for a little while I was interested in like the Timberwolves, but I haven't really given them or the Wild a ton of attention in a long time. Got some ugly offense here in this fourth quarter. It ain't going anywhere. Tua's brother plays quarterback at Maryland. Yeah, Minnesota got a big win against them. I think it was last weekend. All the weeks start to blend together here. So I don't even know if something was 2 weeks ago or 1 week. I just have football games in my head. I know what happened, but I don't know when. Yeah, T-Wolves have had some good games already. When they're on national TV, I'll have to check them out sometime. I haven't really watched any basketball yet. I watched a couple YouTube videos of like Timberwolves highlights because it looks like maybe they're a little more interesting this year. Anthony Edwards seems like a really cool dude and a really good player, so that's great for them. They haven't had Towns demand a trade yet. That's a big win. Favorite Super Bowl I ever watched live. Oh. You know, a couple that come to mind are actually a couple blowouts. Like, the first Super Bowl I watched was Ravens and Giants. And after the Vikings got beat 41-0, I really enjoyed that Super Bowl. That Ravens defense was so fun to watch. I also think that I really liked Seattle and Denver. Just the narrative with that game, with how good the Broncos offense was and how Seattle just destroyed them from start to finish, was so impressive. Now, see, I was actually cheering for the Patriots in that first Super Bowl against the Giants because I wanted Randy Moss to win a Super Bowl. So I didn't enjoy that one a whole lot. And I didn't enjoy the Patriots comeback against the Falcons a ton because I wanted the Falcons to win, and it was just the Patriots. So that wasn't like, it was an incredible game, obviously, but as a neutral fan, it was less enjoyable because of who did the winning. Patriots-Rams, worst Super Bowl I think I'll ever see. That was a terrible game. Eagles-Patriots was one of my favorite competitive Super Bowls. That was a lot of fun. Regardless of who won it, it was just a good game. I'll probably put Jones on the block. Ooh, got some running room out there. Let's go win the game here, please. I watched a Super Bowl on YouTube not that long ago. Like, they have a bunch of them archived on there if you want to check out some of the old ones. I watched the first one where the Broncos beat the Packers. I think it was Elway's first Super Bowl. They had Terrell Davis. I'd highly recommend that one as a Viking fan who wanted to watch that Super Bowl. Not because the Packers lost. I just kind of wanted to watch it because it was just a few years before I got into football, and I recognized a lot of the players on the Broncos. That's going to be close. Yeah, Steelers-Cards was really good. What was the best game this season? Of this current year? Oh, we had so many good primetime games. There's a touchdown. Oh, man, what were the primetime games this year? Ravens-Chiefs was really good. Browns-Chargers game was really good. I'm looking at the primetime games we've had this year to refresh my memory. I mean, first game of the year with Dallas and Tampa was excellent. I mean, that Baltimore Raiders game in week 1 was really good. It was so weird how it ended. Yeah, KC Baltimore was excellent. The Vikings-Cardinals game was good, too. I just hated it. I think we've gotten a lot of good football this year outside of last week. It was just less games, and they weren't good at all. That Baltimore-Indianapolis game also, that Lamar Jackson comeback, that feels like it was so long ago. I also enjoyed the London games. Like, without a doubt, my standards are lower at 8 in the morning. Deep ball, caught inside the 25. Here we go. Without a doubt, my standards are lower at 8:30 in the morning, but they were at least fun to watch, waiting for the real games to start. Are we ever going to send over a good matchup there? Like, are we ever going to have, like, the Rams over in London Can we get like Rams Cardinals? Oh, I guess they wouldn't do a division game. I don't think they really have ever done that before. They got to send some better teams over there. Imagine like one of your only chances to go to a game in person is like Jaguars Jets. Last play right here. Seal the deal, Giants. It's thrown to the back of the end zone, incomplete. There was a Bengals-Washington game that ended in a tie. Well, that's because they wanted to, you know, pay tribute to all the soccer. They wanted them to understand American football a bit better. So they had it end in a tie. So it would feel like they were at home watching soccer or football. Whatever. I feel like the best London game... Now, here I am being a biased Vikings fan again. But the best London game was 2013 Vikings-Steelers. Both teams were either 0-3 or 0-4 trying to save their season. And Matt Castle with Greg Jennings led the Vikings to a win. Classic NFL moment right there. I went to Dolphins Jaguars in London. Was a slow day. You were pumped up for those Matthew Wright field goals, though, I bet. Yeah, the Jaguars kind of have two homes. Like, they've tried to get the Jaguars to be kind of London's team. I don't know how that's worked either. Like, from what I understand... A lot of football fans over there usually are drawn to... I've always seen it be teams like the Steelers and the Vikings. Which, that's why I thought that was a really good matchup when those two met up in London 8 years ago. That was a while ago, man. I'm from the UK and support the Colts. And maybe it's changed in recent years as the NFL has been more aggressive with the marketing and maybe every team has some sort of a following over there. Carolina, Tampa Bay. They had a London game with them. Jameis Winston started and ended the game with an interception. Well, that sounds about right. When was this? I wouldn't think they'd put too many division games there. 2019. This was like 2 years ago. Almost to the day. Jameis Winston threw 5 interceptions in London and was sacked 7 times. That's bad. In this game, Christian McCaffrey had 22 carries for 31 yards. That is like Matt Asiata status right there. I'm sorry, Eagles fans, to bring up those memories, but you got them back later on. About 4 years later. Yeah. 7 sacks, 5 interceptions, 400 yards passing. So the average game of Madden was played in London. I like the London games. I like the 8:30 a.m. games a lot. Oh, that's right. There's only 3 games now. I thought there was one more. I know I was very off topic here during this stream, but I hope you enjoyed the action. I literally thought there was one more game. You always see jerseys of every team in the London games. Oh, I bet. Oh, yeah. No matter who's playing, I would totally get that. Vita Vea is a beast, for sure. Every time I see him play, I think about Bill Belichick offering him, like, a record-breaking deal, because I feel like a player like Vita Vea would actually be a player the Patriots will go after in free agency. I could totally see it happening. If the Patriots ever give him $100 million over like 5 years, you heard it here first. Petrovsky looked really good. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 67% completion percentage. Played better than Daniel Jones. Ran around. Yeah, I mean, they had Will Fork for so many years. They were fairly aggressive in getting Danny Shelton for a time. I could see the Patriots getting Vita Vea. Barkley, 3.6 a carry. Ruben Knight really only got gameplay in one of those games. So we'll have to see more of him. I wanted more carries, but he still had second most on the team. Only 3 games here. Not a whole lot. Mike Stallworth, 5 for 28 and a touchdown. I thought pass protection overall was pretty good. Antonio Golson had 2 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. That is impressive. Rondell Carter had 3. Now, is there anything we could do in practice mode to maybe see a few more of these players? Does it let me here after playing the game? I'm not sure if I can actually end the stream with that here in this week. What if we take a quick look at the next draft class? Or is it only looking at scouts right now? I can't actually look at prospects. That's in week 1. I have to set everything up there. All right, I'll have to take some time to do that. I can't get to practice mode from here. But isn't this where teams are setting their practice squads? Like, I could make practice squad signings, and there should have been a bunch of cuts. Yeah. Or is it the next stage? Let me sim to staff week. For the next draft, what I'm thinking is maybe coverage linebacker again. What are the top needs, you think? Let's look at our roster quick. What do we want to scout? Do we try to scout more linemen? We probably should have a good idea of the linemen still. Receiver's not a need. Running back isn't a need. Hopefully quarterback isn't at all. Could probably still use a difference maker on defense somewhere. Tight end, yeah. But we're also relying on so many young players. We're not quite sure, you know. Is Azeez Ojulari going to be a star pass rusher or not? Want to target something impactful early in the draft. What does the game think our needs are right now? Quarterback, center, and right tackle. Yeah, we'll take a look at the offensive line class once again. Let me check out the transactions quick. The Raiders look like a pretty good team right now. I think that with the Chiefs having a down year especially, and they're off to a 5-2 start, it'd kind of be a disappointment at this stage if they didn't find a way into the playoffs. Carr's had a pretty good season, really good start to it. I drafted a middle linebacker with a power move. It was a 65 rating. Yeah, so at middle linebacker, you're typically not going to have great pass rushers there. So you always have to keep in mind it's like it's an A grade in relation to other middle linebackers. Not to everybody or anything like that. So don't get too carried away. You got to have some context in those situations. Let me check who's on practice squads right now. Ooh, Josh Kelly. I wouldn't be against Josh Kelly. I don't have room for Quez Watkins, I don't think. All right. I feel like Josh Kelly would be a really good addition. Give us a little more speed out of the backfield. I think he's better than Brightwell. I don't have the cap space right now, but Josh Kelly would be solid. Alton Robinson. I think I have enough depth there. I don't have to do this. He wouldn't be bad either. Yeah, I think Colts are solid for a rebuild. They're kind of a mid-tier team. They, I think, are at least, you know, like decent on both sides of the football. And Wentz is probably playing better than I expected this year. But there's a lot of room to add some playmakers there. Like, you can totally restructure the pass game. Just build around Taylor, Hines, and the O-line. Yeah, I think I'd like to sign Josh Kelly here. There are a couple better receiving backs that are available. Jason Huntley wouldn't be bad. Artavis Pierce. Yeah, I think Kelly would be my target there. Got a lot of long snappers here. Cameron Cheeseman, long snapper. Jacob Bobenmoyer. Blake Ferguson. Ross Matizik. I definitely didn't get that right. Let me know how it actually is pronounced. For quarterbacks here, John Wolford, AAF legend. I think he played for the Arizona Hotshots. Do I think Allen Robinson gets moved before the deadline? No, I think they're going to try to compete this year. Like, Matt Nagy needs to get to the playoffs. And Ryan Pace kind of needs that too. I think they're both kind of on the hot seat right now. So I see them not doing that, even though, like, they probably should. I thought even trading Khalil Mack was possible, but he's hurt right now, so I don't think that can happen. Best teams for rebuilds this year? I mean, it depends what you're looking for. I mean, there are a lot of good teams. If you want like a full, busy rebuild with a lot to do, the Texans and Lions are your best choice. If you want multiple first-round picks in the first round, then like Philadelphia and New York. If you want to build an offense, Pittsburgh's a good choice. The Jets are a good choice. I think they've kind of gone overlooked this year. People aren't excited to rebuild them. And there are fun teams as well in the mid-tier, like the Colts, Vikings, Bears. All depends what kind of challenge you want. I only signed one veteran after the draft, and that was Mike Purcell, just a nose tackle. Had to get a backup there. The game told me I had to sign a defensive tackle, so I did. So they would leave me alone. Any coverage linebackers here? They're all run-stopper archetypes right now. Yeah, don't think so. No great coverage linebackers on the on practice squads at the moment. What do I think the Vikings are up to this year? A whole lot of nonsense, mostly. I mean, they lost games they should have won, and then won games they desperately tried to give away. So it's all evened out to where they're 3-3 on the season. And the NFC is so weak in the wild card tier that they actually have a really good chance to make the playoffs, even though I don't think of them as a playoff team. I think the Vikings probably end up with 8 or 9 wins. They're still going to, they have a tough schedule. They're still going to get some wins. They have, I think, too many good players, and they're not going to end up with like 5 or 6 victories or anything like that, but I don't know. They're a frustrating team to get a read on right now because they're talented, but they don't always play to their talent level. They play down to their competition, up to their competition. They mismanage the end to halves badly. They're a very inconsistent team. But Kirk Cousins is playing extremely well. They have an explosive offense. To me, I'm worried about the defense right now with no Patrick Peterson. I want to see how they bounce back from that. My Super Bowl pick for this year, I think I'd have to go Rams, Bills. Rams been my team from the start, so I'm going to stick with them. Oh, look at the Patriots. They tried trading me a player they ended up cutting. Good job, New England. Yeah, free agency is not where you find coverage linebackers. They're already on teams. Peterson hasn't been bad. I think he's just been solid. Teams don't target him a lot, and he's made a couple nice plays. Teams are opting to go after Bashaud Breeland for the most part. So Peterson hasn't been bad at all, but he is hurt now, so he's going to miss some time. I'm not sure if Fitzgerald actually, filed official retirement paperwork, but he's not on a team right now. I think that if the playoffs come around and there's an injury, there's a possibility he would be signed, but he's just a free agent right now. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for me today. I hope you all have a great weekend. I will be putting the highlights from the gameplay here in the next episode, as we have week 1 against the Cowboys coming up. That's going to be a great way to get this season underway. We start off against Dallas, and we are going to end this season against Chicago because they don't lock in the division matchups. Our last division game is in week 13. Scheduling logic has to be fixed. Hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you for all the support. It was fun hanging out for a while. I will see you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.